To QuickBooks Online, High Efficiency Tips and Tricks, an expert practices presentation brought to you by the Controllers Council. My name is Neil Brown, Executive Director of the Controllers Council. And before I introduce our experts and our partner sponsor, let me share some brief housekeeping items. First, this webinar is CPE eligible with 4 polling questions, so please answer each poll. If not CPE, please answer to benchmark your peers. Also, for CPE, you must attend for at least 50 minutes and answer a quick survey at the end of the presentation. Next, we'll have Q&A at the end of the presentation, so please use your control panel to ask our experts questions. And finally, you'll receive a link to this webcast via email in the next 24 hours, so no need for notes or screenshots. And with that, I'll tell you about the agenda today. We'll introduce our speakers, tell you a little bit about our sponsor, Avalara, and then we'll turn it over to Hector Garcia to cover the QBO tips and tricks. We're going to have 4 polling questions, as mentioned, interspersed throughout, and as mentioned, Q&A at the end. So there you have it. Our 2 presenters, Hector Garcia, CEO, which in this case means Chief Education Officer at QBK Accounting, and some other companies we'll tell you about in a bit, and Barry Nelson, Sales Manager at Avalara. Welcome, gentlemen. We'll keep going here, and I'll tell you just a brief amount of information about our partner and sponsor, Avalara, the agentic AI platform for global tax and compliance. Avalara has built one of the most expansive libraries tax content and integrations in the industry. The company's purpose-built AI agents automate end-to-end compliance with greater precision, from tax calculations and return filings to exemption certificate management and beyond. Learn more at avalara.com. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Barry to tell you a little bit more about Avalara.
Yeah, thanks, Neil, and welcome everybody, and hope you all are having a great day today. Appreciate the introduction and introduction into Avalara. For those of you that aren't familiar with Avalara, we are the world's leader in sales and use tax compliance, but we do a lot more things than just that as well. Historically, Avalara has always led from the front from a technology standpoint, being one of the first and only solutions to start as a true SaaS platform, and also leading the way when it comes to AI. In ways that some people will look and see from an AI native standpoint, but also double checking with people to make sure that what is being created is accurate. So through our technology, it's something that's always differentiated Avalara, and something that continues to today as we try to be a specialized solution for a specialized need like sales and use tax compliance. As I mentioned, a lot of people know Avalara today as, hey, the company that does sales tax, right? And wanted to highlight a little bit, and I know this is a bit of a busy slide, but we do a lot more than just sales and use tax compliance. We do help in people's quote to cash or order to cash process, from whether it's you making purchases from your vendors or also selling to your customers. We've got solutions that can help that, as well as a variation of solutions outside of just our core products that we've had historically, so that we can help with things like international tariff code classifications, item classifications, as tariffs has been obviously a very large topic over the last couple of years here. We also help with things like property tax and license management, 1099s and W-9s. So Avalara has expanded our portfolio based off our customers' needs and asks to really be that holistic compliance provider. And just a little bit more information about Avalara in general, and what makes Avalara, I guess, special or unique in our space is we're built for speed, accuracy, and scale. So typically our tax calculations take less than 10 milliseconds to report back into solutions like QuickBooks, right? Avalara, historically, we file over 1,000 sales tax returns per minute. And we have a sub 15-minute refresh rate, which means anytime a tax rule or change goes into effect, Avalara updates their our systems to reflect that within 15 minutes versus days or weeks. We try to be easy and scalable as well. We do partner with over 1,400 different solutions. We do lead that compared to anybody else in the marketplace. So not only can we support your QuickBooks invoices, sales that are processing through QuickBooks, but likely any other solution that you're working with as well. If you have a shopping cart functionality, for instance, or how you go to business, Avalara can be there to help not only now, but as you continue to scale your business. Also, with that level of scalability, we need to make sure we're very accurate. So Avalara this last year, we actually had a 99.999% accuracy rate across just over 54 billion tax calls that were made to Avalara. And we filed over 7 million returns with over a 99.95% accuracy rate. Also, we're very reliable. We have some very, very large customers and some very small customers, but each sale is very important, right? And so having a solution that's always available is what Avalara wants to be and why we've built the framework we have. So we have over a 99.99, and I think there's a couple more nines behind that, uptime because of something that Avalara has developed called Avalara Active Active. It's an industry term for us specifically, but what it means is we're not contingent on just being on Amazon Web Services, for instance, from a hosting provider. We actually have backups on backups on backups. If, say, AWS, as we all know, where a lot of businesses were impacted by that going down last year at one point in time. Azure, we do fall back onto Azure, as well as Google Cloud and Oracle Cloud. So that transition to change over happens within seconds as well. So your business would not be impacted if one of those large scale hosting providers does end up going down, as all of them actually did last year for a period of time, different times, but just know we stayed up during those time periods.
Wow.
And the
That's
last piece too is, oh, go ahead, Neil.
almost perfection across the board there.
We're striving for it. So we have some very large goals. One of those being a part of every transaction in the world, right? And speaking of transactions, Avalara actually was part of $2.8 trillion worth of sales last year, where we were responsible for the calculations and determinations of sales tax on those transactions. Also, we had Forrester did an independent study of Avalara and found our customers receive about 153% ROI in their first 3 years of using Avalara, based off the return, as I mentioned, on investment that they have with Avalara today. So we hope we're here to be fast, accurate, and scale with you as your business continues to grow, and that way you can have the confidence that sales tax, which we all know is most people's favorite thing to deal with, is done accurately and effectively for you.
All right. Well, we're going to go to our first poll, and it's going to be about, oh, Heather, these are the wrong polls, so we will come back to that. And Heather, if you could load up, these are some old polls here. So let's come
Let
back
me
to
check that, and I will load that in.
Okay. So meantime, let's just move forward, and I will introduce our main speaker, Hector Garcia, who's a CPA. I told you I'd tell you a little bit more about his background. He's, we mentioned, CEO, Chief Education Officer of QBK Accounting, Miami-based bookkeeping and tax firm. He's also a Chief Design Officer for Right Tool, a Chrome extension that enhances QuickBooks Online. And he's co-founder of Reframe, a large live event for accounting pros seeking to rebrand accounting profession as the most creative and transformative of professions. So, Hector, welcome, and I'm going to turn it over to you now.
Thank you so much. Could you help me share my screen?
Yes, I will.
All right, so welcome everybody to Tips and Tricks for Accounting Pros. This will be a live demo in QuickBooks Online, sponsored by Avalara. Avalara, thank you very much for helping us create valuable content for the accounting community. We're going to talk about My Menu, which is a very specific type of menu that you see in QuickBooks Online when you're logged in as an accountant. We're going to talk about the date picker shortcuts, navigation shortcuts. They recently revamped all the navigation shortcuts, so they're pretty exciting to see a lot of shortcuts inside the QuickBooks Online ecosystem. We're going to talk about copy and pasting inside transactions, also a fairly new and kind of say like 90% accurate system, but it does save you a lot of time. Then we're going to talk about the bank feeds, the way to customize the look and feel, which is amazing. It's really, really useful. And then a new feature called backdating bills. You're going to see it's pretty interesting. It's kind of hidden in there, but when people find it, they're like, wow, that's great. We're going to talk about the bank feeds and grouping and batching. It's been there for a long time, very underused, underrated sort of feature. We're going to talk about robust bank rules. Again, it's been there for a while. Recently revamped it, added some additional features to bank rules, which is great. Then we'll talk about kind of a hidden feature, which is batch categorization inside expense transactions. And then if we have any time, bonus would be, using the free tool